We have about 20 hotels in our portfolio right now. Some of them we own, some of them we operate for other owners who don't understand the hotel industry. The decision you guys need to make right now is, do I want to be a hotel owner or do I want to be a hotel operator?
Tonight on The Big Idea, a warrior's road to millions. U.S. military vets go from the battlefield to the boardroom. Business lessons from a Green Beret, an elite fighter at home behind enemy lines, shows us the secrets for winning in an unlikely industry.
Welcome back. We're keeping an eye on your health today, and we've got a very special guest, Dr. Bose.
Well, we do. We have the Larry Broughton, and you may have seen Larry Broughton in many arenas. He's one of the nation's foremost experts on leadership and entrepreneurship.
Larry, you're a guy who's defended our country. You've been on the show before, and
yes.
you know what it's like to be in there and fight. And I love the fact that you're stepping up for Joy, stepping up for somebody who's scrapping it out there.
So I've called in Larry Broughton from the Broughton Hotels Management Company. He manages some of the best hotels in Los Angeles, and I think he should manage the Liberty.
But you both nod your head there.
The question of the ages.
All right, Larry, what do you think? Is there a way?
Larry, welcome to the show.
It's my pleasure, Donnie.
No, it's a privilege and a pleasure to have you here, and I just want to start off by saying thank you because you guys are it, man. So we all salute you. And
But lucky for him, I know a few people that can do that. I've asked some of the top hospitality experts in the country to help me come up with a plan to move the City Garden into the future. Ms. Kim, do you have a seat right there? These are my consultants. See, I even have consultants. Larry Broughton from hotel management company Broughton Hotels.
Until you have your systems in place at your first store where it's easily replicatable and predictable, I wouldn't go out and do a second store. I think I've seen too many organizations grow themselves to death because they haven't had the systems in place.
I love that. What about the people who are scared of somebody stealing their idea?
Yeah, I take a different approach on this just a little bit. I do believe that we need to be careful about just, blabbing it to the world, but how do you know you've got a great idea unless you actually start telling people about this great idea? I had a coaching client who came up and told me, hey, I've got this amazing idea, and she wanted me to sign a confidentiality agreement, which I think we ought to be doing. Confidentiality agreements, non-disclosures, non-circumvents, absolutely. But then when we went to the USPTO office and looked, guess what? There were 8 other patents out there for products that she thought was like the first to market. Well, it's not. Here's the thing. Most people have great ideas and they're afraid to share them, but 99.9% of the people who have that idea are never going to do anything with it. They're never going to take it to market. They're never going to launch it because they don't have the guts to do it.
while you're a phenomenally successful entrepreneur, you own 10 or 12 boutique hotels. But the thing I was fascinated with, and I hope the banner is on the screen, it is Business Lessons from the Green Berets, that you have such specific lessons that it is fascinating that I've heard over and over from traditional business people, but yours are so acutely put together.
I would encourage any business, any employer to do some kind of skills and strength assessments, whether it's a Strength Finders 2.0 or whether it's Colby or whether it's an Enneagram. Let's make sure that we're hiring people that are a great fit for the position that they're hiring. Too often, as an employer, what we end up doing is hiring off of a resume instead of really looking at their strengths. A resume just has the cognitive skills from somebody. What are my experiences? What kind of education I have? But if you do some of these strength-based assessments, it's cognitive. How do I actually show up to work? How do I respond to stimuli? Absolutely. Collaboration is key. I think, and so the more you can take down the walls, the better. If you look at organizations like Zappos, where Tony Hsieh, the CEO of the organization, doesn't even have an office. He's out in the bullpen with everybody else. That works for that organization. But if you're in legal or you're in law, yes, you need a little bit of privacy. But I think that even if you have walls and the door behind it, then we must find ways where people can collaborate. Collaboration is the key to success nowadays. Debt is so cheap nowadays, it is it's flying in the face of traditional growth for businesses where we went to equity, right? The rule of thumb, I guess, is this, that short-term or debt is really for short-term growth, right? Equity is more costly on the tail end of this. But you've got to go through the pros and cons. As you were saying, I think it's such a great point. People go out and get debt when they start out, but you better have the cash flow to pay for those monthly payments. We seem to forget about this. The great thing about equity, though, is you can structure this in such a way that you don't need to lose control of your business. A lot of people think I have to come in with angel investors who are going to take over my business. You don't need to do that. Particularly if you're an LLC, you have much more flexibility on how your operating agreement is structured who gets capital when. Well, I think that any relationship really needs to be a collaborative effort. Those ones that are most successful is a collaboration. So if we go in and say, hey, let's co-create what the end goal is here. Let's do this together. How many big companies do that? Sit down with a potential client and say, hey, let's do this together. Usually it's, here's my product, here's my service, and you must subscribe to this. But when you go in with the intention of, let's co-create the end result here, don't we all want that in life?
Right.
People that come to this hotel are not having a good experience. So that's where Larry comes in.
Hi, Mrs. Kim. Thanks for having us. So really what this property needs is a absolute change in the guest service experience here, and that's what we do. We bring in experts to help the hotel meet its fullest potential. The good news is, in the 25 years that I've been doing this, I don't think I've ever seen a hotel that has so much upside potential.
My advice is for Larry's company to immediately take over management duties and then reassign Andre to a position he can handle.
Yeah, that disruption to the supply chain can absolutely put a company out of business.
Yeah.
And so I think you're absolutely right. These relationships we need to be building with our manufacturers are just absolutely key. When's the right time to do this? Well, as soon as you start thinking that it's the right time, it's the right time.
Right.
Because something's going on here. But I think we need to ask ourselves, why do you want to change manufacturers? Is it because we're trying to control cost? Is the quality going down? But the truth is, in any product today, you know this, Heather, you got to have an excellent product, you know, and if you're doing great marketing, you're building relationships, you're going to actually be expanding your market share. So your manufacturer needs to keep up with you. So make sure that they've got the capacity to grow as you do. We're always looking to cheer for the underdog. Constantly, right? We cheer for David, not Goliath. And so the key is, again, having a great team around you. Because you can't do it by yourself. And so if we are all subscribed to the same vision of providing value and excellence to our customers, then we can do that. But you've got to build that emotional connection with your guests and your clients. Being an entrepreneur, you're the backbone of this country. And in these difficult economic times, you're the one creating jobs. And I just salute you for it.
Thank
you know,
you.
as a warrior, you've got to get out there and just keep connecting with people. This is the way to do it. Now, I think one of the things that people need to remember, any marketing, we need to know who's our customer.
Right.
We need to really drill down. And so if we've done our ideal client avatar, so we know who's buying from us, and then go where our customers are hanging out online. Go to forums where they are. What magazines, what websites are they reading, and advertise there. We need to go right to them. I've seen so many people, small businesses, waste money that they can't afford to lose by just doing this shotgun approach that Reva's talking about. So we really need to niche this thing down.
Right.
So first of all is, why do you want to do this? I mean, the problem with consultancies is oftentimes you're just trading time for money on this. If you really want to grow your revenue, I think you need to figure out, how do I sell my services instead of selling my time, whether it's through products, books, articles, whatever it is. But I would just really be cautious about bringing on a partner. I have made these mistakes with partners before, so I'm going to recommend date somebody first before you jump into the business bed with them. Make sure that you share the same core values, and as Reva was saying, make sure that your strengths complement each other and your weaknesses augment each other as well. But go through a formal dating process. Do some joint venture projects together first before you ever form a partnership.